everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2013 movie Thor the Dark World. The movie is directed by Alan Taylor and written by Christopher Yost, Stephen McFeely, and Christopher Marcus, and it's from a story by Don Payne and Robert Rodat. And this movie, Thor has to team up with Loki to fight the Dark Elves who are planning on trying to take over the universe, led by Malekith. They had been banished for many years, but I guess somehow they get loose and they're back. They're evading Asgard, and they kill Frigga, who is Thor's mom. And so Thor and Loki team up and are trying to stop the Dark Elves from spreading darkness across the universe. The cast in this is pretty good for the most part. Chris Hemsworth is great as Thor. He's really good in this, I think. Tom Hiddleston is perfect as Loki, as always. He steals every scene he's in and is always fun to watch. Anthony Hopkins does a good job as Odin again. He's like the first movie. He's not in this a lot, but he's still good. Idris Elba is back as Heimdall, and he does a good job too. But like the first movie, he feels kind of underused, but he's still pretty good. I didn't really care too much for Natalie Portman in this. Just like the first movie, I feel like her acting's just kind of bland, and it seems more like she's phoning it in even more because she didn't even want to be in this movie. She didn't realize when she signed the contract for the first one that she had signed on for a sequel too. So she kind of had to do this movie, and it's kind of obvious that she doesn't want to be there. It really shows in her performance. Kat Dennings is back in this as Darcy, and she's still the comic relief. She's not, I don't think she's as annoying as most people say she is, but she didn't really serve a whole lot of purpose to the story or anything. You take her out, just like the first one, it wouldn't really change much. Stellan Skarsgård is back as Eric Selvig, and he does a good job too. He's still kind of crazy and mentally messed up in the head from what happened with Loki in the Avengers and stuff, so it was kind of cool getting to see how the aftermath of that is really taking a toll on him. Jonathan Howard is Ian, who is an intern for Darcy, and Darcy's an intern for Jane, so he's like the third, he's like the second intern or whatever, but he like Darcy, he's kind of there for comedic relief. He doesn't really do much and add anything to the story, really. Christopher Eccleston plays Malekith, and I think he does a good job playing the character. I think the character is just a total waste of potential. He's really underdeveloped and really a forgettable villain. I mean, he just wasn't really all that good of a character, but I mean, he was okay, I guess. But I felt like he could have been they could have made him a lot better. They could have gone more into his backstory and stuff and made him more threatening, but he's just one of those one-note villains that the MCU is known for having, and just kind of there to get from just to serve the plot and everything, but he doesn't really do much. The score by Brian Taylor is pretty good in this. I don't think it was quite as good as his score that he did for Iron Man 3, but it was good enough for this movie. I liked it how it kind of had the Lord of the Rings kind of feel to some of the scenes, like when Frigga gets killed, stuff like that. It had this uh, feel to it that kind of remind me of scenes from Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of cool. The cinematography by Kramer Morgenthau is really good. I think it was a lot better than the first Thor's cinematography for sure, and probably the best MCU cinematography since Captain America: The First Avenger. It was done. I thought that the cinematography was really well done. The editing by Dan LaBental and Wyatt Smith is really good in this. They do a good job editing, like the editing on the first movie, and everything is really well edited. I think that another thing that I loved about this movie was there was a lot more practical effects, and there was some really good makeup effects and stuff too, and costumes and everything. I thought that the look of this movie just was a lot better than the first movie and everything, and the action sequences are a lot better too than the first movie's action sequences. I do think that they still did have problems with a lot of the side characters. Like I still felt Jane and Darcy and like Jane didn't really need to be in this movie, and same with Darcy. They could have taken them out and it wouldn't have really changed too much and everything. But besides that, I don't have a lot to complain about this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I do think it's kind of underrated. As most people would say that this is the lowest point in the MCU. And as far as the villain goes, I can agree that this is probably the worst villain in the MCU. Malekith just wasn't that great of a villain. He didn't really seem all that threatening and everything. Yeah, they tried to make him out like he was this big threat, but he really didn't even seem that threatening and everything. And he was easily taken down. But I feel this was a good enough movie. It could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot worse. I don't think it's the worst MCU movie like a lot of people say it is, but I think I really like the look of this movie too. The character designs and stuff, like, and the makeup they use, like Malekith, they use really awesome makeup and everything on him, and they could have easily gone the CGI route with him, and they used the makeup. I thought that was really cool. And if it is CGI, then it's really, really good CGI though. But I think it's makeup and everything, because I think I remember hearing that that Christopher Eccleston actually hated being having to put the makeup on for that, I think, if I remember right. But this is a decent sequel. I think it could have been better and everything because of some of the characters and stuff. I'd give this one an 8 out of 10. I do think it's a solid movie. I always enjoy it, mainly because of the chemistry between Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston and their scenes and everything. Tom Hiddleston really makes this movie a lot better than to me than it probably really is and everything. I just really love him as Loki. He does such a great job and everything. But anyway, that's my review for Thor: The Dark World. If there's any movie reviews, top 10 lists, or movie series rankings you'd like me to do, let me know in the comments, and I'll get to them as quick as I can. And let me know in the comments what you thought of this. Are you one of the ones that actually liked this movie a lot, or did you hate it? Let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you, and have a good day.